Ignorant Bliss, quick hit. Y'all be prepared. There's spoilers in this. I'm talking all about the movie. So if you don't want to know nothing, you should probably just quit right now. Hey folks, this episode I want to talk about The Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature. The main voice actors in this are Will Arnett as Surly, Katherine Heigl as Andy, Maya Rudolph as Precious, Jackie Chan as a random white mouse that's super cute and he hates being called cute. And I think that's all the voice actors I know off the top of my head. This is a sequel to the 2014 movie The Nut Job. The Nut Job was hella average. In that movie, Surly, a purple squirrel, and his never speaking best friend Buddy, a rat, proceed to plan to rob a nut shop from like some gangsters so they can always have like a smorgasbord of nuts. It's like essentially their version of stealing like a bunch of money. So that whole movie was like a heist movie, but with like park, forest, animal, and nuts. So we get to the second one. This new one. It's called The Nut Job 2. There's no nuts involved, really. They get rid of the nuts within the first 10 minutes. First of all, the beginning of this movie makes no sense with the end of the last movie. So already it's confusing. But the end of the last movie, the way I remember it was that they got a bunch of nuts into the park, and then Surly, learned to be a better person and shared his nuts with all his animals in the park. You get to this movie and they all up in the freaking nut shop who's been closed down, just living and swimming and just eating, and then that joint get blown up. Then somehow the mayor is super evil and wants to get more money. So his plan is he's going to turn the park into an amusement park so he can get more money. That doesn't really make much sense because it's like he just starts building an amusement park. He didn't sell it. He ain't got no other developers. He's clearly the owner of the land, and like he just takes city land and just start doing whatever he wants to it, and nobody cares. Nobody pays attention. So not only do these park animals, these squirrels and chipmunks and a mole and this pug and everything else that lives, and pigeons and everybody who live in the park gets messed up. They get torn up. Animal control gets sent after them to go capture them. So they lost their super resource of nuts. Now they're losing their home. So they decide to fight back. They're going to save their home. While Andy decides to see if they can go to a park across town. Surly fails a couple of times. He runs into these mice in the city. And lo and behold, one of them, they're all Chinese. And they taught themselves Kung Fu. And they beat the hell out of Surly. And he runs away. But they're going to be useful later. And a bunch of bad stuff happens. Buddy gets hurt and falls into a coma. There's a terrible little girl who treats dogs terribly. And Precious gets an admirer from this little terrier pit, whatever. I don't even know actually what type of dog they're supposed to be. But he falls in love with Precious. And he's voiced by, I can't think of his name right now. But he was the main star of Vinyl on HBO that lasted one season. Bobby Cannavale, Bong, Beast Mode. And yeah, man, this movie was just pretty terrible. Eventually they defeat the human and kick them out of the park, and the park gets redeveloped. For some reason, the humans can understand that these goddamn little squirrels can talk in this movie, but they didn't really understand them in the last movie. And yeah, this is just a bad kids movie. And I don't think the only reason Jackie Chan is in it is so, since the movie is I think half financed, almost all financed by Chinese money, that he'll be a selling point in China because he's Jackie fucking Chan. So, yeah. Don't take your kids to see this dumbass movie. Yeah, don't do that. Don't waste your time. It might come on one of them random days Cartoon Network decides to sell movies, like a year and a half from now, or Freeform or whatever daggone channel, Family Channel or something. Like don't rent it, don't Redbox it. Wait till that joint come on TV. It's bad. The animation's pretty good, and when I mean the actual movement, like the squirrels move like squirrels, dogs move like dogs, vice versa. The jokes fall flat. The slapstick is weak. And I mean weak not on an adult level. I'm talking about like on kid cartoon level. I'm not talking about Rick and Morty level. I'm talking about like Looney Tunes, Flintstones, SpongeBob, Gumball level. Like yo, shit need to be as funny as Gumball in these streets. But it's far from that. The lighting is kind of weak. All the scenes kind of feel the same. Almost like the same 3 hours of the day all the time. Like late afternoon, early evening, all the time. They be in the morning, they be in the night. It feels at the same time all the time. It's kind of blurry too, and I didn't see it in 3D. So I can't blame this on 3D. Everything feels kind of flat. The fur is okay. It matches the first movie, but it's really nothing really amazing with the rendering of the furs and the textures. I know a lot of people probably worked hard on it. They probably didn't get paid enough. They probably didn't have enough time to make an actual real good piece of work. Yeah, but it's some trash. You know, to be blunt and mean. Don't waste your time with this. All right, peace. So, ignorantbliss.com, ignorant-bliss.com is where you can check out my main podcast. This is on iTunes. That's on iTunes. Just search Ignorant Bliss, or I should basically just say Apple Podcast now. You know, I like to be fancy. Twitter is IGBL Podcast. Ignorant Bliss Podcast. On Facebook, Ignorant Bliss Podcast at gmail.com. If you want to contact me, talk to the show, you can comment on this as well. I'm at Julian Lytle, LYTLE, on all social media. So, hope you enjoyed. Deuce.